Hello again, everyone. I'm Coral. Welcome to my channel. I'm doing another book review today, a book that was newly released at the beginning of this month. This is The Other Black Girl by Zakiya Dalila Harris. This was a thriller. This was angsty and not exactly fast-paced, but a book that I really enjoyed reading the entire time. It was like, even when there wasn't a ton of action, I just really liked what was going on in this book. This follows Nella, and she is the only black woman, the only black employee in the publishing house that she works for. She works for, what is it called? Wagner? She works for Wagner Publishing, which in this book is like a big time kind of, I'm assuming along the lines of like Simon and Schuster or Penguin Random House, you know? So she is not... Does it tell me exactly what her position is? Because she's not quite an assistant editor. It just says while working. I don't know. If she got promoted, she would be an assistant editor, I suppose, but she's not quite there. She's been working at Wagner for a few years. Like I said, she's the only black employee, and she hasn't had the worst time, but she hasn't had the best time while working there, as far as being treated with equity, things like that. She's done things like, you know, diversity halls that it feels like her co-workers are a little bit performative in the sort of allyship that they try to have with her as a black woman. So she's very excited. Nella is ecstatic when she notices another black woman coming in for an interview. That woman's name is Hazel, and eventually she is hired to work also at the same level as Nella. And at first, Nella and Hazel get along really great, but then eventually some things start happening in their office that seem kind of weird. For example, Nella gets this random note in her bag that says, "Leave Wagner now." And she's putting all these things together, and she's starting to think that maybe Hazel is trying to run her out of her job, but she cannot figure out why that would happen. And there are a couple other viewpoints that are sprinkled out through this book, and you start piecing together like this big huge story that I, for one, did not see coming when I first started this book. So I will, you know, let you also read that and experience that for yourself. I ended up really enjoying The Other Black Girl. I thought it was suspenseful. I thought some of it was kind of strange and off the wall, but in a really good way. That's a scrub J. We started out with one scrub. Okay, this is weird bird lady corner. However, I need to tell you, because I'm so excited. Last year, there was a scrub J in our yard, and nobody would see it. Like, I'd see it and be like, that's a blue bird. Like, what is that? Because we don't have a ton of, we have like a lot of doves and some, oh, I don't know, chickadees and black cap tits and stuff like that. So I was really excited to see like a big blue bird, and it turned out to be a scrub jay. And slowly there's just been more scrub jays, and now there are 4 scrub jays in that like hang out in my yard, and I'm going to be so sad when they go away. So I love my scrub jays. They're kind of mean. They kind of scare the other birds away, but they have a monopoly on my yard now. Anyway, so the layout of this was really nice because, like I said, you get these other perspectives, just a little bit of it, and you know that there is a bigger picture, but you just cannot, I guess, predict how wild this gets. I didn't, at least. I did see some reviews saying that they didn't like the pacing of it, that it felt slow, and there's a lot of, especially in the beginning, Nella just working at this publishing house, and maybe it's because I love that kind of stuff, I guess. I don't know, like, I am interested in the way that publishing works and what happens in publishing, you know, in a real world too. I follow what publishing houses are doing and what they aren't, and who's working there and what kind of books they're doing, and you know, stuff like that. So that interested me, but I can see if somebody's really not interested in the book publishing process, that might be a little tedious, because this is really about Nella's workplace. I also saw some reviews, because I think this compares this to Devil Wears Prada, which is weird because it is a workplace book, a book that centers around Nella's workplace. However, it is not a comedy. It is not a comedy. It is a straight up thriller. So don't come into this expecting that, because you will be very disappointed. This is for people who want to read a thriller. This is not for people who want a giggle. There's nothing to giggle about in this. So I enjoyed the pacing, even though it was probably not quite slow, just, you know, moderate pacing. The end did feel like it zipped up a little bit too quick at times. You know, Nella goes from knowing nothing about the situation to knowing everything about the situation, kind of. So you, as, you know, the reader, at least I kind of felt that way. It was like, maybe it could have been drawn out a little bit more. But I ended up really liking this. I thought this was a great thriller. I liked Nella, and I really liked to be suspicious of Hazel. There was a fun, really insidious plot underneath all of this, and I really enjoyed my time reading it. The end, especially, the twist. Okay, so it's like, there's the end, which is like crazy, and then there's this epilogue, which is also crazy. So it's just like, there's this twist, and then there's this, I don't know, I guess the epilogue isn't really a twist, but it's like you get a little peek behind the curtain and you're like, what the fuck? So I ended up really enjoying The Other Black Girl. So if you want a female-centric thriller that takes place in a publishing house and really centers around the workplace, definitely pick this one up. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you've read The Other Black Girl. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.